Whenever you continue to stand strong in doing the work on yourself, you always are ready for a windfall of abundance to come to you at that point, because there's many storms in life, but after the storm, it's calm, okay? There's peace, there's tranquility, there is many lessons learned. So anytime you have an understanding, you're going to feel better than you did before you knew whatever it was that you've learned. When you don't know something, that's when it's uncomfortable, that's when it's confusing, and that's when you really don't want to experience that feeling any longer, because it's difficult to bear. One thing about human nature is that we want to know. Well, a healthy person wants to know. You know, they want to be knowledgeable of a thing or five, right? So it's healthy to want to know. So when one lives life not knowing and living in the unknown, that's like a shadow within a shadow. That's darkness covering the shadow. So to understand is to experience the light revealed to you. And that is the spirit message. Good day, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to Milk Honey Rose. I am Mystic Alchemy. Thank you for being here. So yes, that time that you've taken with yourself. Oh, man, that's so sweet. It's so sweet. Sweet, tasty, good enough to eat. You can consume that as much as you want. That's something that you can actually indulge in. You know how they say you shouldn't indulge in anything, or too much of anything is not good for you? Yeah, that's how it goes. Too much of anything is not good for you. But when it comes to indulging in the fact that you did the work, ain't nothing wrong with that. You can indulge. You can bask in that. That's your glory. Because you went through that struggle. It's hard to go through that shadow work. So when you go through it, yeah, be proud about it. That's something to celebrate, because it's difficult. And to overcome something like that is massive. You know, it's massive in this lifetime, but it's really massive in any lifetime. To experience the ways of the shadow and then come out on the other side with the light, that's a big deal. So this is why your abundance and like a windfall of joy, happiness, appreciation for self, and a reflection of that energy bouncing back, reflecting back to you, is way overdue. Way overdue. And this has been something that you were actually meant to have before for many of you. However, there's certain blessings that you can't have. There's certain spiritual gifts that you can't have when you continue to live a certain lifestyle and be around certain people and do certain things, because that means you're not ready for it. So I don't think they do this anymore, but I remember hearing layaway a lot when I was younger. Like, you know, people putting stuff on layaway. I don't think they do that anymore. But it's kind of like that in the spirit from this message and how it's coming to me. Like your abundance that God has set aside for you has really been set aside for you. Okay, it's been purposely set aside, because if you get it too early, when you're in the midst of still doing things that are not going to grant you the results that you actually want, then it's like put up for you. It's set aside for you. So a lot of what is meant for you, it had to be set aside, because if you received it too early, you would destroy it. So now that you have learned what you have learned through decoding your shadow. I just heard decoding your shadow. Wow, that's deep. You took time to decode your shadow. That is something that we have to decode. It definitely is. A lot of times I say that when I'm talking about messages that I get from the ethers, right? I always say I gotta decode the message, but you gotta decode yourself. Okay? Yes, that shadow needs to be decoded, because there's a lot of hidden there's a lot of hidden, what do I want to call them? Hidden gems, you know? And if you think about it, when it comes to like diamonds and rubies and pearls, all of those grow in the darkness so beautifully, don't they? Pearls are inside of clams for like years, a long time. In order for a pearl to grow, it takes like forever, okay? And it grows something beautiful in the darkness. The darkness has a lot of purpose. It's not all bad. The darkness is actually beautiful. The darkness is actually love. The darkness is actually passion as well. Which is why black is beautiful. Okay? Darkness is beautiful. It depends on how you look at it, but it is. It is. Even when we are in the womb, it's dark in there. Okay? Under the sea, that's like the earth's womb. It's dark down there. You get down there, you get to a certain level, okay, or a certain depth, I should say, and it's so dark that the creatures below have special equipment so they can see. They have lights, little light antennas on and all that. Like, the whole scenery changes once you get to a certain depth of the ocean. And it's the darkness, but it's amazing how the creatures that live in those depths adapt to that environment. And so the key here was for you to adapt to your own environment when it comes to the environment of self, when it comes to you really decoding yourself to the point of understanding and putting in, defining everything that happened to you so that you can use it as ammo. It's like it becomes ammunition. And I know that that's figuratively speaking, so I don't want to throw y'all off too much because I speak abstract sometimes. And so that's like ammo. The lessons you learn, that's why they say knowledge is power. Because it's like ammunition. Our words are so powerful. So the more understanding you have, the more powerful your words, the more powerful even your presence becomes when you understand. And your presence becomes a gift to others. Your presence is a present. Okay? So yes, doing the work, it just brings you exactly what you want. It brings you exactly where you truly want to be, regardless of if you know it or not. It just is what it is. That's why I always push to do the work on yourself, because the more you do the work on yourself, the better you'll feel, the happier you will be, the more that you will be able to discern and decipher people's energy too. Like you'll know who should be around you and who shouldn't, and you're quick to cut off. Your cutoff game becomes real clean. Okay? And it doesn't take as long to vet people out as it once did before, because you know better. Okay? So that's it for this message. If you deem this energy as suitable to continue to walk with you on your spiritual journey, drop it down in the comments below. I declare this is an aspect of my love. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're feeling my vibe, especially if this message does resonate with you. And to purchase any of my books, you can visit www.milkhoneyRose.org. Also, you can join the membership here on YouTube to gain access to additional content, and I'll see you in the next one.